Oh, all right. I got most of this. I feel like a grandpa at this point. Oh, okay. That button. Oh, it's a highlight. I got it. Interesting. So it's a good test of background. Trying to get the background higher when it's going to do a portrait like this. Afternoon, or night, or evening, or whatever frame it is in your area. Oh, what a lovely Wednesday night, isn't it? Hmm. I do kind of miss that I didn't go for a run this evening. Are you all quiet now? Goodness. You know what we need to do is bring like a guest on when we do these. So I have something to talk to, so I'm not talking to myself. Oh, I know what to do. And dear, usually when I live streaming, I'm live streaming like my workouts. So this is my first doing like background and chit chatting. So. It's all stuck. Oh, I know what I can do. On live stream, I can shine up this helmet a bit. That might be fun. This helmet needs a good shining. There's a vinegar anywhere nearby? So since there's not many people to talk tonight, we're gonna do some live streaming of like cleaning up a helm, how to do that. So one way to do that is to use vinegar and acid, and to clean up the rust. So there's about a year's worth of rust on this helm. So I'm gonna be getting some vinegar. I'll be right back. Ooh. Alright, we can get this helmet shined up. Get ready for... This will have some content for the next couple videos. So, I appreciate all that subscribed. We're almost at 1,000. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers. Up to 634 last count. And we got that 500 subscriber video in the works right now. I'm gonna get that out to you guys in the next couple weeks. So, helmet shining or cleaning process right now. So you need white vinegar, some sort of applicant. So I'm using this scrubber type thing. So, a scour. So we gotta get some of the rust off. So we're just gonna do that tonight, and that'll be our night tonight. That acid will remove a lot of the rust. That's kind of what I did initially last year. And then we can go through the polishing process again if I have to. I don't think I need to. But we're going to hit it up with the, as you can see, hit it up with the acid, or vinegar, which is acid based. So come over here, just hit everything. Make sure things are crazy. See, just get all the hell. So we get that. And that's going to start removing the rust that's been accumulating over the past year that you guys have been seeing. So we're just going to be doing that this year. Is shutting up our armor, getting our armor 2.0 ready for next year. Because a lot of our knights this year, they went to the thing at Spartan Race up in Nashville. So I'm going to be prepping for that with the group. So I'll be posting the pictures of that tonight so you guys can see kind of like what our Idris and Connell were up to. It was kind of nice. So I didn't know about it until a couple days ago. So that's what we'll be planning on working towards for next year. So there's open registration if you guys want to check it out. I don't have a link for it. But if you guys check out Spartan Race, it's 5K and 10K. It's like 70 and 90 bucks accordingly. So, and then we're just hitting this with vinegar, and that's going to remove the rust, since it's, it's a kind of this light acid. There's a lot of buildup over the years, over the last year, I should say. If you look at the pictures from last year, you can see kind of the helmet in its prime. So that's what we're going to be working on. And the helmet's kind of heavy, so I want to do it from down here. There's a lot of rust built up on the back. My goodness. You can just see that rust is starting to come off. See? See how that works? So I'm going to get some paper towels and we'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So we're going to just show this kind of reveal of removing the rust now that we hit it with the vinegar. And it's pretty fast acting, as you can see. So, pretty rusty. So now that we have this, see how much shinier that is? It's getting there. So we're gonna hit that a couple more times until we get all the rust off of this helm. So you kind of see how it's coming off, almost like you hit it with sugar water, or I don't know what you call it. Going from a kind of a rusty brown to a little more polished there. So we're gonna be hitting that with more vinegar. So vinegar takes off rust, eats rust, because acid. See? And it kind of gives it that nice tone as well. So we're gonna be hitting more of the applicator on that. So. See, we hit vinegar. And it's been a year since I've actually did rust removal when I first shined and polished it up. So it's gonna probably need another. Well, it's still pretty shiny. Still pretty high polish from last year. So I'm just gonna remove the rust to bring its luster back. So. And we clean up all the crevices. I feel like one of those channels, those cleaning channels, showing you how to clean thy helmet, how to properly care for it. So a lot of the guys say use gun oil. I need to be doing that. Kind of been just it's my first suit, so I just kind of been just not maintaining like I should be. So this year is more of refining the processes that I developed over the past year. Now that I got, the equipment, I need to start taking care of it this year. So this is a new season. So we're just hitting that with the vinegar and just cleaning it all up. It's kind of how it is with God, right? He kind of like renewing thyself. He sees how strong you are, and you have to just clean and refine yourself. Seek perfection. You'll never be perfect, right? So you can see, moved another layer of rust. And that. Starting to get there again, starting to look like its old self once more. So it's been, like I said, 1 year and some odd months since it's been restored. So we're doing helmet restoration and soul restoration, and that's what this season's all about. I remember I had a dream about Jesus and all that. He's talking about like renewing commitments and faith. I was being washed down a river, and the river wasn't trying to kill me. I didn't feel like I was in threat of being killed or anything, but I found it very interesting. I still remember that dream very vividly. So, a renewing of faith. That's what this is. And if I say anything wrong, so help my missus correcting me. She'll throw a sponge in my head. I think we need to do that, to have an off-screen sponge. And thank you for all that watched up to this point. And a few viewers. Chat might be busted, I don't know. My computer is currently down, so the PSU currently exploded. So if any of you guys are chatting right now, really can't see it until after the video, but I appreciate your guys' comments and chats. So I always look forward to making videos for you guys. You guys are a very quiet bunch. You guys are like, you watch and you observe. You don't say much. So hard to tell if I'm doing right, but my channel is growing, so it tells me something at least. And you guys are sharing, and it's just an interesting process. And that vinegar will eat up that rust. So if you guys have any rusty things, use white vinegar. And that will clean up any surface you have. So as you can see, that helmet's starting to look a lot better. So we still probably have to hit with the I have a buffer. Probably still have to hit it with that this year. So, but there you can see a lot of the damage that happened over the years. People hitting me and everything. So. I kind of love how people like bouncing, like, oh god, he's talking about cleaning. Oh, run! It's hilarious. They'll stay for about 30 seconds. I noticed this newest generation, they have very short attention spans. They're not used to long formats, I guess, anymore, like the olden days. So, but that's what the shorts are for. And if you watch this long in the future, thank you. So we're doing helmet restoration tonight and talking about, kind of like restoring our soul and our commitment to setting or whatever our goals are for the year. So. I hope you all have a pleasant night so far. Oh, goodness. And we'll let that sit for a little while, let the vinegar do its work. I think we got a majority. Oh, I think the face guard. Probably should get the face guard. So we're shining up this helmet, removing a lot of the rust using white vinegar. So if you guys have any rust on your projects, white vinegar definitely helps. It eats up the rust. So just if you watch some of the other videos or some of the earlier pictures I had recently, helmet's pretty rusted. Oh. Whew. This probably be like a very interesting live stream for most of y'all. So this was not planned in the normal cadence I've been up to the past couple of weeks. So I apologize for that. So we have a lot going on here at home. A lot of things to catch up on this year, and I'm sure everyone knows they've been hit pretty hard with this economy. So thank you all for understanding and watching our content. If you guys have any questions, feel free to always ask them. So I'm always here to kind of help guide people along the medieval journey, I guess, so to speak. So, and yeah, this next couple weeks are very interesting, right? So a lot of hiking, a lot of sweating, a lot of tears. I'm just talking about kind of like the channel updates, talking about God, shining up, renewing our commitment, and I was kind of also showcasing like what vinegar, white vinegar does to rust. So if you guys have any projects that are rusty, kind of cleans it up. Because if you look at some of my past stuff, this was super shiny about a year ago. So I notice when I talk about the big G, people like bounce. So it's very interesting. Maybe my audio's messed up. My audio messed up? Welcome. Now that they had this vinegar sit a little bit while, the white vinegar sit on this, we're going to start removing some of the rust again. And we get this helmet, not so high polish, but a little patine. Oh yeah, interesting. So yeah, this channel is a Christian channel. That we do SCA content, which is Society of Creative Anachronism. It's not live steel fighting like Boo Hurt, but it's more hard suit combat. I'm gonna use rattan weaponry. So I'll show you kind of my weapon. Ugh. So this right here is, it's called a Becht Corbin. So this is a rubber mallet. So this is, if I weren't wearing armor, the other guys weren't wearing armor, this would cause some serious damage. So rattan is just solid bamboo, and we hit each other with this. So we fight in big formations. So the last battle I was in called War of the Phoenix. It's over there in, well, you guessed it, Phoenix, Arizona. It was about, I'd say, 200 people versus 200 people, something like that. Pretty intense combat. So, and my persona is Crusader, so that's kind of what this channel is all about, mainly. So, and kind of our, if you guys watch 40K, the Space Marines, they have ethos or faith-based ethos to combat. So mine's very similar. So how I'm approaching that, and just anything in life so far. So far, I lost 100 pounds in the SCA, and my journey went from 390 down to 290. So that's kind of like where I'm at in life. This channel, I'm growing it to kind of help those that are lost. Because I've seen a lot of my friends that are lost themselves, like with their weight journey. The Crusaders, if you actually look at the history of the Crusaders, that was in direct response to, I think it was 400 years of incursions from the caliphates into Europe. So they're already at the gates of like Vienna. They already invaded Spain. They're up in. They took down the what is it? Not the Balkans. I'm trying to think if it's Greece and that area right there. So it was a direct response to that, and it was to help pilgrims. Not pilgrims. People make the pilgrimage over to the Holy Land without fear of being hit by raiders, I guess. So it's actually the first international organization, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of like a bank. So I found it very interesting. So you good empathy, and they're also like super old organization. And they were, I forget what King Louis it was. It was one of the King Louis. February 13th, 13 something, 14th, it was the 14th century. He didn't want to pay his debt to the Crusaders, so he had them killed. I mean, that's war. I mean, people do that even now. I mean, that's war as hell. I think that's the saying, war is hell. So this is just a reenactment group. So this is just a persona. So but yeah, so but you have to look at the actual organization as well after that. So then, and then I think after their fall, a lot of the Templars uh, they basically reorganized into different organizations and rebranded themselves. There's one that still exists today, though they're honorary guard now. The Order of Christ up in Portugal. So they were with the Templars and they switched over to the Order of Christ. So that's kind of like this symbol here, except they have like a white banner that went across. So it's kind of like what my late period is. I mean, that's war. People do that. I mean, war is hell. I mean, that happens even now. We're no better than those people back then. So, and that's not what the channel's about. So it's about SCA modern time hobby. So, um, I guess we can get in that debate a little bit. I'm not. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. You could talk about all you want, but that's over what 700-800 years ago. You can't unless you have a time machine. Not much you can do. But yes, I agree. You shouldn't have to kill babies, but even American soldiers have done that, carpet bombing and murdered civilians, and that's why you should never. War is the last resort. You should never go to war. That's probably good. You should never go to war. So, but I agree with you. You shouldn't have to do any of that. But like that movie, if you ever watched that movie, Kingdom of Heaven, I am not those men. And that was God, what was that guy's name? Saladin. I'm Saladin. That's a good movie, by the way. I recommend watching that, Kingdom of Heaven. I mean, yeah, it's it's an interesting debate you bring up for sure. War definitely sucks. You should watch some documentaries. Just war is atrocious. It's not a very fun experience for anyone involved, I imagine. But it's done by what is it? Old men that know each other send young men to die in their place that don't even know each other. So that's and there's a great saying, I think in Fallout, right? War never changes, right? So thanks for the questions, though. I appreciate it. So I always get asked those hard questions sometimes. Like, how could you? I was like, well, it's just a persona, and I'm not really those men, and it's aesthetically pleasing, and I'm a Christian, and it makes somewhat sense in the hobby that I'm in. So. When you're having fun, you don't think about all that. So, good to hear. I don't agree with um, unjust killing and anything that's like, right. That's both all sides are guilty of unjust killing and murder and all that stuff. So I don't agree with any of that for sure. So the Crusades happened. It's history. It literally is history. So can't get mad at it. You can't really change it. I mean, you could probably try to alter like the history books, but I mean, your what's that saying? History will repeat itself, so it doesn't do any good to erase history. So, because then you can learn from it. But no, war definitely happens, and sometimes it is unfortunately justified. Like when in World War II, I would imagine you agree stopping the Axis powers was probably a good thing. Got you. um, so yeah, you can go into a huge debate. There's scholars that go into debates like that, right? They go into great detail over the ethics of war and right. War should always be avoided at all costs, but sometimes there's evil. You just gotta stop evil. So offensive wars, I probably don't agree with ever. Defensive wars, more likely, but depends on context. So there's always context of what a war is and why it's fought. War resources, probably stupid. War to avoid extermination, probably a just war, more than likely. So, at least you're kind of tapping into or touching a little bit of the complexities of war, right? Because there's always, in a war, there's always two sides, right? So, but I think it's best to have fun in life instead of always thinking about all the negatives in life, right? So, but obviously don't live in a bubble. Be aware of your surroundings and be aware of what's going on in the world in general. But you should have joyous and understand and love in war. Or wait, hold up, see. Yeah, yeah, we're always searching for life. Oh God, thank you. I'm here from the Republic of Genoa. I've heard of that. I'm gonna have to look it up for sure. I'm here to offer military assistance against the invaders of the Holy Land. Must watch a lot of Kingdom of Heaven, or you do a lot of research on the actual like Crusades, Genoa. One of my favorite battles was, I guess, the Battle of Malta. Have you guys ever heard of that? Right when they're defending against I think the Ottoman Turk, or something like that. They're fighting against those guys, and then the Battle of Vienna. The Ottomans were up there, or not the Ottomans. I think it was the Ottomans. Super brutal. I watched a documentary on that. I was rooting for the Maltese for sure. I was like, my God, they held, they held the line. I was like, my goodness. I mean, just that entire span of history is pretty interesting. I thought, just in general, and then the history of the Templars, and then following their lineage. Like I said, the was it the Order of Christ in Portugal. I was like, I didn't know there was a direct descendant from Templars when I was doing research on my group here. So I was like, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Greece and Turkey. I mean, there is a holy war going on currently, it seems, or some sort of war. I'd like to visit Jerusalem at some point in my life. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, it's a Bek to Corbin. There's a whole debate on that. It's they call it a pole axe, believe it or not. That there's a Robin Swords. If you ever watch him, he talks about it. So, but I mean, what do the medieval people know, right? They didn't have running water. That's what I told my friend. So yeah, it is a warhammer, so to speak. But yeah, this is a pretty awesome weapon. I actually when I was going back in the SCA, I was trying to get away from sword and board. Most people do that. It's the easiest thing to do. And I was going more towards what did the knights of like 14th century do with their armor, and like what's a different fighting style that most people don't do, and it was poleaxe fighting, so or polearm fighting like this. So actually, you can watch some of my videos. You can see me use an actual hobby combat, I would call it, not actual warfare, but it's a simulate. It's to simulate as best as possible hard suit combat as much as possible. You can only do so much, right? Kind of like paintball, right? You don't actually shoot each other with live rounds. So, it's basically what this is. But yeah, I'm still learning, right? All about like the Order of Christ, because that's how when I heard about them, I was like, oh, well, I need to turn my persona into that, because the Templars, they're all but gone. They're all gone when my plate armor is more late 14th century, going closer to in the 15th century. So I was like, how do I justify my persona with this armor? I was like, okay, Order of Christ, perfect. Um, there's another channel you guys can check out, Kings and Generals. He goes into great detail over like the actual historical battles. You can look at Crusader stuff. There's some pretty cool stuff out there. I found it very interesting, kind of like I'm trying to remember the city's name. Oh, it's at the tip of my tongue. It's in the Holy Lands. It was one. Oh yeah, same here. So, and that's what I'm kind of grow my channel to be more serious, kind of like Kings and Generals. Kind of take from that, kind of mix history and faith into what I'm doing in this channel. So if you're wondering where this channel is, it's in my description. So if you're caught by surprise, oh God, he's a Christian. Well, I mean, the suit should have been a giveaway. uh, but yeah, so as I grow this channel, I'm gonna be mixing in all that stuff, cooking elements as well. If you ever watch Townsend, he's a great guy. Watch him. He has a great cooking channel. I was thinking about doing that. I kind of I'd hate to waste watermelon, but I think I have to. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Do one of those. Oh yeah, I watch him all the time, and I was just looking at like his thumbnails he had, some of the cooking stuff. I was like, and I was trying to look for 14th century cooking videos in the style of what he has, and there is none. So I was like, maybe I could do something like that, because the SA they do a lot of feast and cooking as well, and yeah, too many. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that, or the ballistic head, to show what kind of damage this would actually do if you weren't wearing a helmet. Because if I got hit with this without armor, I would be in the hospital. A lot of people thought this was like a boffer weapon. I was like, no, this is like a rubber mallet, even though it's kind of squishy, right? It's so we don't get actually killed. Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah, I was looking at some stuff. So I actually did a recipe for the SCA group. We did is a mushroom hand pie. There's some ingredients they didn't have, like saffron and whatnot, but I did as close as possible. That was pretty good. Everyone loved it at our little feast together we had. So I'll probably do a video on that. It was actually really delicious, and it's so simple to make. It's just basically pie in a muffin tins. And then yeah, I still have the 500 subscriber thank you video I'm going to be working on. So I'm kind of keep that under wraps. But I kind of foreshadow what it is a little bit, and one of the clips and one of the shorts. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to that, but it should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Okay. I'll actually want to eventually get a Vector band at some point and test out things. Oh yeah. And I just think that mound would be your skull or someone else's skull. So, hence the armor. I think you're one of my subscribers. I think I've seen your name around a few times. Yeah, that's my phone for money. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out for sure. Won't be this month. Money's a little bit tight. Like it's always tight around the holidays. I'm sure you all are aware. A lot of my resources can be towards the next video. So, should be a lot of fun. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw, see my shield. Oh yeah, no worries, man. I'm bad with names, but when I see icons and certain patterns, I can recognize them. So I'm like, okay. But I'm sure you see my videos. I put out at least 3 or 4 shorts a day. I'm trying to keep up the tempo of that because it's just easier to do a short with the video content I do generate than it is to make a long format video. Since my computer exploded recently, like the PSU decided to go boom. Don't spam cool people though. No worries. But that's one of my, this is the currently a shield I fight with. So it's 3/4 inch ply. So I actually made this entire thing. So I think one of the coolest videos I had, or coolest moments I had was last year at Castle Wars. We actually had yeah, my PSU decided to nosedive. Like, I turned it off because my computer didn't turn on. I'm like, oh, that's weird. We just turn it on, off and on again, right? I turned it off, turned it on, boom, like a grenade in my hand. But anyways, as I was saying, the coolest moment I ever had was last year at Castle Wars, and I wish I had a point of view camera or something like that. There was other Templars on the battlefield, Templars and Hospitals. The Knights Hospitaller dudes were out there, and I got to fight with those guys in a big push on the main castle. That was pretty awesome. So it does make a difference when you're with kind of people the same uniform. So that at some point I like to get more Crusader forces on the field. This channel ever explodes big enough where we can hire people, like, yeah, let's just hire vets and put them in armor. I'm like, let's go get the Holy Land. Oh yeah, Castle Wars is actually coming up next month as well. I don't think there's. Well, there might be servers out there. I remember it's on the edge of Georgia. It was in a national forest. Is the most beautiful land I've ever seen. We were by a river, and that was the most gorgeous camping spot ever. If you guys ever check it out, I forgot what city it was, but it was the best ever. I'd wake up and you would smell and hear just the river. It was glorious. And I remember the eve of battle. They had that fog, right? They said right before the eve of battle, the fog lays down. That actually happens. It's like, oh, that's so sick. So it's actually one of my earlier videos. I have that. Yeah. I mean, it happens. Yeah. You either have good luck or bad luck, right? Worst luck possible. What happened to that guy? Leaf hit his truck and he rolled over 6 times, and then he's in the hospital. Right? Sometimes you have moments like that. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. One of the best fogs I've ever seen is driving through the mountains, Montesano in Huntsville, and it looked like you're atop, like in the clouds, right, flying above the clouds, and you're just on the mountain. It is, as far as I can see, you see nothing but clouds, and it is the most surreal, heavenly thing you can experience. So if you ever come to northern Alabama, check out Montesano Mountain and go hiking out there. It's fantastic. Right. Then, it turns out your bad luck is actually good luck in gambling, right? House always wins. Well, no, this guy has bad luck, so he always wins. It's inverse. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I'm going to be doing a hike up there at some point again. It's just a lot of fun. So, do you guys get out and do a bunch of activities as well? Running, hiking, biking, all that stuff? Yeah, casinos, you're going to lose your money. I mean, the house always wins. But it is, fun every now and then. Hey, how's it going? Right. Yeah, you work for one of them, and then you lose to every single customer you have. Just bad luck. So like, I let you go. Why? Every single customer's winning, man. You're on the roulette table. How's this even possible? So just so you guys are aware, we have about 14 minutes left in the stream. You guys have any questions about SCA or uh, Christianity in general? Go ahead, shoot. We'll be doing another live stream probably tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Next week, next Monday. So we got a busy week ahead of us. Yeah. I got more content to make for y'all as well, so a lot more working out until I die. So, but I can definitely feel a change from over last year. I actually did a comparison video, and I was like, because I look at myself, and you see yourself every day, you don't really see the changes. But I was like, wait a minute, I was like, I'm able to run now, right, to places, and before, like, walking 5 steps would wind me. Um, and then so like, all right, I'm gonna look at my current last practice I did with the pole arm, and look at my very first practice. Hey, stay safe if you're in the hurricane. May the Lord protect you and your family. Stay safe. That it's pretty serious out there. So if you're watching this from Florida, man, you're pretty base. Stay safe. Yeah, it's been crazy past couple weeks. Like that hurricane was pretty close to us as well, or not us, but like I felt bad. I didn't have the means to go out to Asheville to help those people. Seeing all that travesty out there, I was like, so I'll have to find somewhere to donate or help a family if we can sometime in the future. So if you guys can help as well, families out there, go ahead and do so. How can I adapt? Because I'm a Christian, and people are flawed and make mistakes, and terrible things happen. Hey, I wouldn't knock if someone just wanted to be ISIS persona or wanted to dress up World War II as a SS officer, right? I mean, people reenact things. It's called having fun. Can't always be so wound up and so caught on like if you if one were to always be wrapped up in the atrocities that people did in the past and wouldn't have fun or whatever, you guys didn't do anything. I mean, because if you dig deep enough, you find skeletons in everyone's closet. So, what's the point of getting offended by what a group did 700 years ago or 1,000 years ago, right? The Romans, should we hate all Italians because the Romans conquered the known world and raped and pillaged people too? I mean, that's silly thought, right? So, but people reenact Romans too. I mean, honestly, I mean, there are people that have ISIS personas. I don't know. I think must have to do with being. I have no idea. if you roleplay that or not. I think that's a faith. One's a faith, and the other one's an organization. So those are very two different things, I'd imagine. Well, of course. And you're not them. I'm a reenactor, and then if you're reenacting World War II, you're reenacting like people used to reenact was it Cowboys and Indians and have fun with that. Like people are like they've lost the ability to have fun. Yeah, I know what ISIS is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the terrorist group, the current terrorist group. And what about them? Yeah, they're just an organization. So I mean, if you wanted to dress up as one and in a reenactment group, that's fine. I'm not gonna. Or if you wanted to dress up as a Japanese kamikaze pilot, go for it. I mean, you're not one of those. You're just reenacting or having fun. So just because you reenact something doesn't mean you accept everything that organization has done, or you're trying to what do they call that? Necro posting, right? Where they bring back an old post. You're not trying to necro summon what the organization did and become that. You like the aesthetics of whatever it is, or you kind of agree with some of the messaging, or you like whatever the case may be, right? And you're just having fun. Pride's a sin. I'm not proud of. It's more of walking in faith with God to better oneself. That's what I'm doing. Right, exactly. Right. You get it. And just like in 100 years from now, there'll be reenactors for the Ukraine war, right? There'll be reenactors for I mean, we do it right. We do it all the time with Russians, right? In video games. I mean, you're not bad. I mean, sometimes it's fun to pretend, right, and have fun. Life's rough. Why do you have to always be wound up and upset by things? And I think the world, they get too caught up in that, being offended, perpetually offended, right? So we had honor societies back in the past. You get offended, oh, I'm going to just chop your head off or something, right? Not a good way to live. Yeah. I mean, everything's so politically driven. It's insane to me in the past 10, 15, even 20 years how people like could differentiate like reality, right? And then like just having fun or like so then they like to blur the line nowadays and can't see the two differences. You're not hey dude, you're not bothering me. You are not bothering me. Faith 9. Right. So it was a faith. It was a Christian order, if I remember correctly. But hence, you know. But anyways, if you watch my channel, I'm trying to walk in line more towards God and get closer to God, and in that process, lose weight and bring people closer to God as well. So, and I'm just having fun in the SCA. So, see this? This is a pretend weapon. See? And I am a pretend reenacting crusader. So, if I were reenacting a 40K Space Marine, I mean, they, in their lore, they did atrocities too. Should people be upset by that as well? I think not. So, I understand where you're coming from for sure. I just think it's like, it's not healthy to live that way. Always be offended by everything that comes your way, right? So you take things in stride. Like, hey, I see what you guys are doing. You guys are just, you know, you guys are just having fun. You guys are enjoying yourselves. You guys are just basically acting. No harm, no foul. But everyone's offended by everything. Yeah. Sure. That's your opinion. That's fine, man. But glad to have you in the channel and posing these questions. I hope to see you in the next live stream for sure. Adopting these ideas. I mean, I don't see the need to to go with a bunch of guys on horseback, stopping. Because there's no Islamic raiders raiding pilgrims to the Holy Land, as far as I know. So that's kind of why they ceased to exist to begin with. They had no longer had a purpose. So no longer had a purpose, and they were very. If you actually look at them, they're almost like a Jedi Order, right? Just they couldn't have girlfriends, couldn't get married, couldn't drink or anything like that. So they were kind of like disconnected from their community around them. So it was pretty easy for everyone to ditch them, and because hey, if you owe the bank money, and if the way out of owing your debt is calling them heretics and taking everything they own, why not? Right. But yeah, there's about 3 minutes left in the live stream. Any more questions? Or 2 minutes? It's be about an hour. So I appreciate you, Amar Halam. Did I say your name right? Mr. Hal. Sorry. Amar Halam. So we have a few on the field as well. We actually have a few Islamic warriors as well. Like they dress up in that persona. So I think that's pretty sick. They look pretty. You guys have, or not you guys? They have a pretty cool attire. How then? Oh yeah, I'm always open for discussion. So I hope I made myself somewhat clear, and like I understand where you're coming from. There are people who actually you get that in every organization where they can't differentiate reality from fiction, right? So they do that in video games too, where they can't. They take it too serious, way serious, and that's just their entire being. So I understand that. There's people that are like believe in the God Emperor of in the 40K universe, or like there's actually a Jedi order that believes in the Force. Like there's some that are probably legit believe in the Force, which is fine. This country, you're free to do whatever you want, but there's always going to be those few that are extremists in their worldview, whatever it may be. There's people who are probably crazy about makeup, right? They're extremists with makeup. Because I'm trying to remember that lady's name, but she really hated fat people, would not hire fat people. So I understand what you're talking about. But if not any more questions, I'm going to be ending the live stream here in about 20 seconds. I'm a Christian. That's my Christian belief. But the Crusader thing is just acting. So I'm a non-denominational Christian. I just follow the teaching of Christ himself. So I don't believe in any one religious sect or another. So yeah, I hope that clarified. So, and God bless, and thank you for joining and posing tough questions. That I'm sure there's always going to be some. Right? I could literally be a show about pillows, and there'd be hard questions. But we made a live stream there. I got to eat some dinner, and God bless, and have a good night. Oh yeah, absolutely.